Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a new edition of the EKN OutLap. My name is Rob Howden, joined by David Cole as we power our way through the 2023 season, coming to the season finales, coming to obviously the big one-off races at the end of the calendar year. It is October the 5th, 2023, episode 63 of the OutLap, and this preview podcast getting things rolling for our EKN Trackside coverage of the United States Pro Kart Series finale, the Carolina Grand Prix at Trackhouse Motorplex in Mooresville, North Carolina. Today's OutLap presented by the Skip Barber Racing School. Are you looking for the next step in racing? Go from karts to cars with the Skip Barber Racing School. Skip Barber alumni are champions in every motorsports series, including Formula One, NASCAR, IMSA, and IndyCar. Get behind the wheel of a Skip Barber Formula 4 car featuring a 160 horsepower turbocharged engine. Our highly structured and competitive Skip Barber Formula Race Series is the perfect platform to start your racing career so you can fulfill your dream of becoming a champion. With equalized race cars and a focus on driver development, your driving skills will determine if you end up in victory lane. Learn more about the Skip Barber Racing School at skipbarber.com or call 866-932-1949. All right, David Cole, out of the frying pan into the fire. Just last weekend at Newcastle Motorsports Park, you and I were both trackside and behind the wheel in a couple categories of the Cup Karts North America Grand Nationals. You'll leave the helmet at home this weekend. Grab the reporter's badge and head down to the USPKS finale. Carolina Grand Prix, October 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th, back at Trackhouse Motorplex.
Yeah, the camera bag as well. I didn't even take a single photo with a proper camera last week. We had Nate Dean doing all that for us as we had our helmets, gear ready to go. And yeah, it's man, I'm beat up. This is 5th weekend in 7 weeks, and
welcome to my world, David Cole.
I as much as I bug you about my pizza burger diet, I think it's paying off in the long run because you sound great, and I just feel like crap.
Yeah, I am tired. Still.
It was physically and mentally exhausting week, just being behind the wheel because you're so focused, and I was focused and, still trying to have fun at the same time. But yeah, it's just, only the second time in the kart all year, it just kind of beat the crap out of me. And, coming back home to now to do regular things, having to mow the lawn last night, that was a pain in the butt.
I bet.
Including the bruises on my butt from squatting in the seat all weekend long.
And you're hoping I wish I could, 3 days.
Instead of weight, I wish I could lose a couple inches now to be a karter. I loved it. I loved it as a basketball player, but as a karter, man, I got to get down and squat in the seat, and it hurts. Let me tell you.
You were doing that squat down in the seat on the straightaways to get that big head of yours out of the air.
It's not that big, though. I have a small head.
I know, but I mean up there.
It's the shoulders. It's more so the shoulders,
True.
I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, ready to anytime getting to be trackside for an event like the United States Pro Kart Series, it pumps you up. So as soon as I get on the plane, the adrenaline will start up again, and it's ironic. We're taping this today. We're going to put it on the radio today, and then I'll be flying to the event today. So a little different, unique format we're following because of the chaotic schedule we have going.
Yeah, no doubt about it, David. As I said, as he told you, has been on a run of 5 races over the last 7. This is going to kind of cap things off pretty soon. Right after this race, I think all we've got left after this is the SCUSA Super Nationals. So. Again, our trackside program for 2023 almost coming to an end. David, of course, as he said, we'll head to the airport this evening and head down to Mooresville for round 5 of a 5-round championship program. Best 4 of 5 count. David, as we know, the USPKS has really become the strongest series on the West Coast, if not the strongest series nationally right now, rather East Coast, and the strongest series nationally with massive numbers. We'll look at those numbers for this race after the break. But it's the 11th season of the program, and let's talk a bit about the weather and the event notes heading into this USPKS finale.
Yeah, it's again the national layout, the typical layout you get at the Trackhouse Motorplex, 0.7 of a mile, 11 turns. Again, opened in 2012 and hosted the inaugural United States Pro Kart Series event back in 2013. So this is the 11th visit for United States Pro Kart Series. Wow. They've been there every year that the series has existed. And, it's looking to be a great weekend for the 4 days of competition. Again, obviously today is official optional practice. It'll be a high of 78, along with tomorrow when we get into the 4 rounds of official practice and qualifying, high of 78. Start to cool down as we get into Saturday and Sunday, with temperatures looking to be around 70 and 65, but the threat of precipitation is not in the forecast. So that's a good thing, as Saturday we'll have our warm-up, Heat 1, Heat 2, Heat 3, and then they've actually moved the last chance qualifiers to the end of Saturday because of the championship award ceremony that will happen at the end of Sunday. All 3 heat races will be 12 laps, LCQ 7, and then Sunday for the main events will be 22 laps, aside from the cadet divisions, which will be 20.
Yeah, a couple of LCQs on the weekend. KA 100 senior and junior will run LCQs. The top 44 after the heat race points will transfer to the final. Top 6 up for grabs to get them a chance to race in the main event on Sunday afternoon. Don't go anywhere, folks. When we get back after this first break in this edition of the OutLap, we'll come back and have a look at the numbers. We'll see what the class grids are going to look like in all 8 categories of the USPKS finale. Established in 1999, PSL Karting has become a powerhouse within the karting industry for North America and around the world. PSL Karting is your complete source for all Burrell Art products as the North American importer, providing this top quality product through both their expansive dealer network or through the pslkarting.com online store. Whatever you need is available 24/7 online, including safety gear, parts, components, and full karting packages. All 3 brands, Burrell Art, Ricardo Kart, and Charles Leclerc Karts, are in stock and ready to hit the track. Grab your winning chassis for any category by visiting pslkarting.com to find your nearest dealer. PSL Karting is always looking for interest in new dealers and teams to help create new business relationships. Drivers looking to take their talents to the next level can join the Burrell Art North America race team, competing at all the major U.S. and Canadian events this season. When you're ready to win, go with PSL Karting. Winning takes top quality equipment, flawless preparation, experienced coaching, and passion. And at Team GFC, we live our passion. Developed by American karting champion Gary Carlton, the GFC chassis has become one of the newest brands to reach the top of the podium in North America. GFC has garnered victories and championships at all levels of the sport since its debut at the end of 2018. Shifter car drivers are at the front of the field in the GT14 frame, with the SS31 a consistent contender in tag and 100cc competition. Team GFC has arrive and drive packages available for all categories, including the mini and micro classes utilizing the GFC RR5 cadet chassis. These young pilots have the opportunity to be part of the Team GFC Young Driver Development Program. Learn from one of the best American karters with 28 years racing at the highest levels in the sport, offering personalized training on and off the track. Follow GFC Karting on Facebook and Instagram, or click over to gfckarting.com to learn more about joining Team GFC. GFC, live your passion. Acceleration Kart Racing is your first and only stop on the internet for karts, parts, and the safety gear you need to get you on the track. Visit shopakr.com for a great selection of karting equipment on a user-friendly website. Acceleration Kart Racing has aligned itself with many of the top manufacturers and distributors in the sport to ensure all the latest equipment is available to you, the racer. With over 20 years in business and customer support available 6 days a week, you can be confident about getting the right parts at the right price when you need them. Be sure to visit shopakr.com today or stop by their headquarters in Las Vegas. Make sure to follow Acceleration Kart Racing on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for the latest specials and new arrivals. Welcome back to episode 63 of our OutLap podcast, which is our initial piece of content to start off our EKN Trackside program with David Colby going to be heading down to Trackhouse Motorplex in Mooresville this weekend for the USPKS finale, the Carolina Grand Prix. Numbers have went down a bit, but kind of are popping back up. There was 303 entries at the opening round at Orlando, 284 in the series debut trip down to Texas and Speed Sports Racing Park. Newcastle Motorsports Park, always pretty solid. It was 287, so a little jump back up. Dropped down to 226 for the event at the Motorsports Country Club of Cincinnati. But David, as we kind of always know, Trackhouse is going to draw not only the faithful to the series, but a lot of the regular drivers from North Carolina and the Trackhouse program will be there. 261 entries all told in the calculating that I did based on the class-by-class numbers.
Yeah, I just did that as well. I forgot to put that in the script. 261 is a total. It's a good number. Yeah. Again, we're talking 8 categories. You have some drivers double dipping, but it's the local contingent that helps build that, that number above the 200 mark. Cause we kind of figure about 200 racers that are following the national program, both, United States Pro Kart Series and SCUSA. So you get a lot of the Mooresville or North Carolina drivers that don't follow all the programs, but love to compete whenever a traveling series comes to the Trackhouse Motorplex. So that bumps up the numbers. The big story in the by the numbers is 41 Micro Swift. Wow. It is a season high and a series high. They've never had 41 Micro Swift drivers in a field.
And that's the future of the series. That's the future of the sport, right? We always talk about that. When you got good numbers in micro and mini, the future is strong. And there are literally 79 drivers in the cadet classes. 41, as David said, in Micro Swift. 38 in Mini Swift as well. So, 79 drivers in the cadet category strong. Again, 18 in X30 Junior and 32 in X30 Pro. It's the second lowest of both of those programs. Not surprising considering the end of the season. You're not in a championship fight, whatever it may be. 18 drivers in X30 Junior and 32 drivers. It's we look at 30 as kind of being a full field to a certain extent. 30 drivers in X30 Pro.
Yeah, 30's been the benchmark for X30 Pro for dating back the number of years. And so to see only 20 at the Ohio Grand Prix at Motorsports Country Club of Cincinnati, that was kind of a shame. But when you think about it, the timing just wasn't right with the month of August, people going to school, a lot of other stuff happening. And I think that when the series probably goes back next year, I can't remember if they even release dates or locations or not. It's kind of a blur. I think they're going back there next year. I'll have to double check that. That 30 is the typical benchmark for this category. And and then getting back to Micro Swift, when you get to the 40s, it's almost like, hey, maybe we need to split these guys up into A, B, C, D, just for the fact of the type of experience that are in the field. If you get what I'm saying, Rob?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Like you have a lot of new names that are going to be in the category. So that just looking at that it almost could be if this category continues to kind of draw this big in numbers, that might be something the series looks into because they have the ability to do it. Dependent on how big all the other categories get. Obviously, with K Junior and K Senior above 50, you got to split those guys up for the heat races. So, but looking into 2024, that could be a possibility of maybe splitting up the Micro Swift.
KA100 Junior remains above 50 in all 5 rounds of the series. KA100 Senior only dropping at Cincinnati down to Thurstall, massive 38. 13 drivers are answering the call in KA100 Masters this coming weekend, the smallest of the year. And then same goes for Pro Shifter, David, down to just 9 drivers in Pro Shifter. We'll look a little bit more at that when we get down to the actual class by class previews. But it's interesting to see just the 9 there right now pre-entered.
Well, Shifter is a new category. It obviously started off big, 18 drivers in Orlando because it was new, it was fresh. But you're getting towards the end of the year, and like we talked about, we're getting closer to those one-off races. You got Rock Vegas coming at the end of the month. You got Super Nationals following after that. So, and there's not a lot of a big shifter contingent in the North Carolina at the Trackhouse Club program. So that there's a lot of different factors into that. And obviously some drivers that are missing from the roster that have been there all season as well, too.
Yeah, when we get back after this break, another quick stoppage in play here. We get back, we'll dive into the preview of essentially the three big pro classes. So we'll go X30 Pro, we'll go KA100 Senior, and we'll talk about that pro shifter class that we just chatted about briefly. When we get back, more to come on this edition of the OutLap. The new face of competitive karting in the Pacific Northwest region is RaceLab. The full-service karting operation is located at the state-of-the-art Kartplex facility in Oliver, British Columbia, Canada, providing everything you need to hit the track or put yourself in a successful driver development program. RaceLab is the official North American distributor for the TB Kart chassis brand, providing the full range of models from kid kart to shifter kart. Villeneuve Racing Karts is their flagship product, available only through RaceLab. The brand carries the name of Formula One champion and Indianapolis 500 winner Jacques Villeneuve, with each model produced by TB Kart. Kartplex, the home of RaceLab, is situated on the grounds of the Area 27 Motorsports Park. From full arrive and drive TB Kart rentals to leagues and competition karting, the facility provides a new home to developing the future stars of motorsports, all beginning at Kartplex with RaceLab. Follow RaceLab on social media on Facebook and Instagram, or load up their website at www.theracelab.ca to learn more about TB Kart and Villeneuve Racing Karts. RaceLab. Race with us, win with us. All over the karting world, everyone knows OTK is the gold standard for quality and performance. In the US, OTK USA is the source for all things OTK. From the legendary Tony Kart brand to the race-winning Cosmic and Prix chassis, and now the new Red Speed and EOS brands, OTK quality is second to none. All five brands are winning races and championships across the country in national programs like the Rock Cup USA Florida Winter Tour and the Challenge of the Americas, the SCUSA Pro Tour and Winter Series, and the Pro Kart Challenge, the United States Pro Kart Series, and the WKA Manufacturers Cup. And OTK products are also front and center on the podium of club and regional races from coast to coast. To learn more about a specific product line, you can find the OTK USA dealer near you, whether it's Tony Kart, Cosmic, Prix, Red Speed, or EOS. Visit www.otkusa.com. Specific chassis territories are still available, so kart shops interested in adding a winning component to their product lineups can contact OTK USA directly. Fast, fair, and fun. Ignite Karting offers you all of that at an affordable price. Ignite Karting utilizes the spec Margay Ignite K3 with a Briggs & Stratton 206 engine and a Hoosier R80 tire. Everyone in the junior, senior, and masters classes compete on the same Ignite K3 chassis, which puts all the emphasis squarely on driver development. Additionally, Ignite Karting is accessible at the local, regional, and national level. Special events for the 2023 season include the Ignite Majors, which begins with the annual trip to the Daytona International Speedway as part of the WKA Daytona Kart Week as part of both the sprint and road racing events. Those in the Midwest can enjoy the regionally based Ignite Challenge, which just finished up a record-setting season in 2022. Local club programs have also been established in other states all across the country, from Idaho to Texas, Nebraska to New York, with more tracks and clubs joining the Ignite Karting program. Be part of fast fun and great memories with Margay Racing at an Ignite track near you. All information on Ignite events and Ignite Kart packages, including dealers in your area, are available at ignitekarting.com. Get off the couch and out onto the track in 2023. Ignite Karting. Fuel your passion. And we're back, episode 63 of the EKN OutLap, our preview for our EKN Trackside program. Rob Howden alongside David Cole. This weekend, we'll wrap things up with the USPKS, the Carolina Grand Prix down at Trackhouse Motorplex. 32 drivers of the X30 Pro class. The winners on the season include Arias Dukmedjian, Joe Turney, Austin Garrison, and then Harley Keeble. And of course, just one winner on the weekend for the USPKS series, which is the way they attack their weekend. We love that. So 4 different winners, David, on the season. Do we see a 5th different winner when you get to North Carolina?
I really like the thought of it because there's only one returning winner. Harley Keeble is the only one that's returning that'll be in the field. So the percentage, the odds are in that favor of having 5 different winners on the season. Now, don't count out Harley Keeble. He's been super quick coming off that Ohio Grand Prix victory. So that is a good possibility that he could come back and repeat or go back to back in terms of victory lane. But really the focus aside from that is going to be on the championship chase. You know, you have 4 drivers within 379 points of each other, as Joe Turney, round 2 winner, will not be in attendance on the weekend. He's going to be at the World Championships going on in Italy. So that'll be a kind of a miss for USPKS, as he'll be there racing for a world title. But you got to expect that, you know, the world championship comes, all the best of the best are going to be there. Joe Turney's going to be there.
Yeah, that's the priority for him, right? Is obviously to do that. So no Turney, no Garrison, as you've talked about. So Diego Ramos comes in with the point lead, 100 markers over Ryan Norberger, who's not yet won on the season. So he's definitely, both those drivers, let's be real, with an opportunity to go for a race win here. Brandon Kart, 3rd, back by 296. Elio Mesa, back here in 5th spot, plus 379. Another interesting one, David, will be the debut in the USPKS for Ernesto Rivera. This is a kid who's been really has dominated junior racing throughout the entire year. Recently made the move up to seniors, so I think he'll be definitely one to watch throughout the entire weekend.
Yeah, along with Max Taylor too. So both Rollison Performance Group junior drivers making the move up at the end of the year to the senior category. So it'll be interesting to kind of watch and how they mix in. We saw, I believe, Rivera ran senior at the U.S. Trophy Final. I think Taylor was still junior. Was he that weekend?
Was he there? I don't think Taylor was there.
Oh, he wasn't there.
He wasn't.
Sorry,
there.
I was thinking Woolney. Sorry,
that's
that's the other one.
Yeah.
So both making their kind of USPKS senior debut. So that'll be interesting to see where they kind of blend in. Anthony Martella, another driver who ran junior, was racing pro shifter. He's actually going to be in the X30 Pro category this weekend. So going back to the single speed competition as well. And then don't count out a lot of the, of course, we're going to keep talking about in every category, the Trackhouse regulars, drivers who have tons of laps in there. You talk about Dalton Haynes as being one of them. He will be aboard the Kart Republic, and we'll talk a little bit more about Dalton in another category.
For sure.
Caleb Gaffera, Brooke Knockman, a number of other drivers that have a lot of laps at Trackhouse.
Yeah, I look at Hayden Jones coming back, David. You see that?
Yeah, and Hayden Jones as well,
Jones
too.
Back, for sure.
Says he's racing with Rollison Performance Group, so possibly making the move back from Trinity Karting Group. So we'll have more on that as we get Trackside tomorrow morning.
Yeah, Donovan Bonilla, obviously for another RPG driver who has been strong on the season. Another guy that we've seen do well at Trackhouse is Justin Adiconis with Mike Doty Racing. I expect he would be in there. Braden Eves coming back with MPG Motorsports. We saw Braden Trackside at the Cup Karts North America race alongside the MPG squad. Now, Paulie Massimino was there, very strong. He's with Mike Doty Racing on the weekend. Cooper Shipman. And what about the drivers from the International Motorsports Inter MS team? Both Alessandro DiTullio and Carol Pasowitz. I think both those drivers, you're going to see them factor themselves in the top 10, top 5.
Yeah, DiTullio's kind of been right on the verge there as to getting a top 3 finish. I don't think he's gotten there yet. I think he's had top 5 on the season. He's actually sitting 8th in the championship without a top 3 result thus far this season. So Trackhouse could be the weekend for him. Same
thing goes for KA 100 senior at 54 entries. 4 different winners on the season: Christian Miles, Elio Mesa, Cooper Shipman, and Emerson Reed, all with race wins. But David, none of those 4 drivers find themselves in the top 4 in points. It's actually Peyton Phillips leading the points based on his consistency. He's 81 points ahead of Braden Eves and 123 over Josh Campbell.
Yeah, the way the championship format was set up for this season, if you're out front, it's beneficial, no doubt about it. And you don't have to be winning every single race to be able to be in the hunt for the championship when it comes down to the series finale. So this is kind of a show of that, because as you said, the top four in the championship have yet to win this season. You got Peyton Phillips ahead 81 points over Braden Eves, who's doing the double duty again. Hopefully you won't need my neck brace because I'm not bringing it this weekend.
Sure enough.
But he says Trackhouse will be a lot easier on the neck compared to the Motorsports Country Club. Josh Campbell, who was an early championship leader, I believe this season, is 123 points back, with former series champion Brandon Lemke sitting 132 out of first place. So again, with 650 points available on a weekend, there's a lot that could happen in this category, because you do have round two winner Elio Meza sitting there in fifth, only 205 points out of the championship lead. And actually Cooper Shipman, who won at Newcastle, is sitting sixth. He is trailing by only 237 points. So when you look at you got 8 drivers who are sitting within 300 points, and that's only half the points available for winning or setting fast time and qualifying, winning all your heat races, and winning the main event. So there's a lot that can happen in terms of championship in this category, because again, factor in the drop as well too. So a lot can change.
Yeah. Guys that we know are going to be strong. Harley Keeble doing double duty again. He'll be running in the K100 senior class. Paulie Massimino as well. Anthony Martello. We talked about Martello going from junior up to pro shifter, now running a couple of single speed categories on the weekend. We're also going to see the return of Aiden Rudolph for PSL karting. Alongside him under the Red Army will be Henry Wheeler. They've been strong. And what about Alex Stanfield? Did you have Alex back ready to rock and roll as well in that number 950?
Yeah, Aiden Levy coming back, the SCUSA Pro Tour champion, Alex Stanfield. Nate Cicero, a former SCUSA Winter Series champion in the category. He's coming back with Rollison Performance Group, jumping back in the Kart and racing in the KA100 senior division. So that'll be interesting. There's a lot of good names in this category. You again talk about locals. Dalton Haynes also running in KA100 senior as well. This is gonna, Massimino's doing double duty. He's always good in the 100cc division as a former SCUSA Super Nationals winner. Eli Warren has been one of the top rookies in the category throughout the season. This will be a weekend for him to kind of shine and be in the top 3. I think he was a top 5 finisher at Motorsports Country Club, so that's been his best finish thus far. So this field is stacked. It is going to be a nail biter, a barn burner. Throw out all the words and all the catchphrases you can for this division.
I'll throw a shout out to my boy Taryn Odom as well, running for Mike Doty.
Yes.
Taryn was on the wrenches for me at Cup Karts Grand Nationals. He's going to be racing this weekend on a LN kart, which is great. I think Mick Gabriel's a guy. Mick Gabriel as well. Go back, Dave.
Yeah, Mick Gabriel's going to be among them, a bunch of other drivers. But why are you not returning the favor for Taryn? You should be wrenching for him.
This is it. I probably should have came down and just been his guy in the pits, right?
At least the guy pushing his cart back and forth, because
say,
that's pretty much all you can handle, right?
I can take tires on and off.
Okay, good.
Just not the rims. That's not my jam.
So you got to get that cart lift tire changer. I'm telling you, we had it in an LSR Motorsports tent. It's a game changer, man. Right. I can actually change tires within 5 minutes.
Well, we need one for the garage. we need one for our garage at Newcastle anyways.
Good point. See, right? I have one at home. I barely use it because I never go racing, but there you go.
One of the interesting things, David, you and I had a quick little message about it, was Leah Block is going to make her US PKS debut. Leah, of course, the daughter of I just lost the first name, Ken Block. The late Ken Block. She's been doing a bunch of racing. She does a lot of karting out in Utah. Right. I know she was behind the wheel of a USF Juniors car recently as well. She's been doing a lot of off-road stuff, of course, not surprising, but good to see Leah coming out to run with the USPKS.
Yeah, interesting weekend to make the debut, the series finale at Trackhouse, maybe a place. I don't know if she has any experience there. We'll have to find out when we get Trackside. Yeah,
exactly. Good storyline to follow throughout the weekend. Let's have a look at Pro Shifter, David. We talked about the fact there's only 9 entries all told. Danny Formal, AJ Myers, and Kyle Wick, the winners on the season. Myers comes in with a 252-point lead over Marion Kremers. Talon Yackel Hunter Pickett and Giorgio Carrera, the drivers in the top 5, although Myers and Kremers, I think, are the 2 drivers in the hunt. We will not see either Pickett, Carrera, or Formal. Are they actually not running at all? I thought I saw Formal posting that he was down there.
Well, Kremers is also another driver who's down there as well, but not on the entry list. So I'm waiting. I did not get any confirmation from Kremers or Formal. So waiting to see what that entails. So maybe Formal possibly could just be sticking to driver coaching, and maybe the same for Kremers as maybe they've relinquished or allowed Myers to he is the champion again. 252 points, a lot to try and make up for Kremers. So maybe possibly just kind of sitting out and saving and working off the track rather than on the track.
A couple of guys back that we haven't seen for a bit rolling in this pro shifter category. We see Alan Isambard is going to roll in, having joined the Sony Kart USA program. So we'll see him there. Jacob Gulick back with GFC as well. The young driver who was one to watch. We said earlier this year, Ethan Boer will be on the track as well. And what about let's take the opportunity now to talk about Dalton Haynes, because we've talked about him in 3 different categories, and that in and of itself is pretty impressive. Triple header on the weekend for Dalton Haynes, running in all the pro categories.
Yeah, this is something unique. You have to go back to WKA Manufacturers Cup Series to have the ability to run 3 different categories in the same weekend. Nowhere else have you been able to do that. Maybe a Masters driver previously could have run shifter X30 and KA, but we've not seen it happen for a senior driver. And this will be the first for the United States Pro Kart Series to have one driver racing in pro shifter, KA 100 senior, and X30 pro. So Dalton Haynes is going to be making his pro shifter debut this weekend with Chad Docken Racing aboard the Kart Republic. That'll be a story to continue to watch. Maybe we'll have to kind of like follow him for one round of the practices. Maybe just have a live stream following him, what he does from one class to the next, how he's kind of handling that. It just kind of be cool to see, because again, he's going to have a lot of help in the pits because they're going to be working on 3 different karts. He's going to have to monitor obviously his hydration. Thankfully, it's not going to be extremely hot, so it'll be comfortable weather, but it's still got to be able to monitor your physical fitness. So it'll be interesting to kind of watch that. So maybe once we get settled in at at Trackhouse, that's my first one. Yep. We'll have to kind of track him down and kind of follow him as he goes along. You
figure that opportunity just came up with Turney not being able to be there, and an opportunity for him to kind of jump into Turney's seat?
No, it's something he was talking about in August, actually. So I said, okay. Nothing had been confirmed yet. He was still kind of sorting it out. Even I think when we saw him at the U.S. Trophy Final, he was still working out the details. So luckily it all came together, and now he's been able to do that. I'm going to assume that Daniel Tate's going to be one of the drivers, hopefully working with Haynes. As he was Joe Turney's mechanic throughout the season, with Joe Turney not being there. That'll probably help. Obviously, Chad Docken, who can wrench on anything, loves shifter racing. So maybe Chad will be able to guide Dalton on the shifter rank side of things, and then Tate helping him in the other 2 categories. So, and of course, Dalton's brother has been with him by his side throughout his career. So definitely they'll have the hands to be able to do it. But again, we'll try and track and see how things happen and develop.
Yeah, I like that through one of the full practice rotations. That'd be really cool. All right, folks, back to another break. When we come back, we'll do X30 Junior, KA 100 Junior, and KA 100 Masters. This preview podcast of this coming weekend's US PKS finale at Trackhouse. Back after this break. For over 35 years, George Barks has been deeply connected to shifter kart racing in the U.S., and he's been dedicated to one of the most iconic brands in the sport, TM. For over 3 decades, George Barks TM Racing USA has been supplying engine builders and kart shops with the TM product line as a trusted importer and distributor. Current customers include Darcy DeCoste Racing, Ron White Mirage Motorsports, and 2 Wild Karting. Dealer inquiries are invited. The KZ and OKN class are enjoying excitement and growth this year, and TM Racing USA has all the available TM engines in stock. You can count on TM Racing USA for competitive prices and superior customer service. George has developed his stellar reputation of expertise and professionalism through his 30-plus years in the sport. Here's George to tell you in his own words.
I'm George Bartz. For over 30 years, I've been proud to represent the TM Racing brand here in the United States. I know the product line inside and out, and we always have products in stock. I'd love to get the opportunity to add you to our network.
From complete engine packages to each and every part in the motor, George Barks TM Racing USA is the go-to source for TM products. Connect with George via email. It's barkstmracing@aol.com or call 310-714-6907. Top-level production with a focus on a single form of motorsport, karting. This is MG Tires. MG Tires USA, underneath the Vantage Karting Group banner, is the official distributor of the MG Tires brand for the United States. MG Tires are the official spec tire in the US Pro Kart Series, Route 66 Sprint Series, Sunshine State Karting Challenge, and countless clubs across the country. No matter your compound preference, MG Tires USA has you covered. Whether it's the medium SH Red or the soft SM Yellow that you find at many karting events in the US, or the super soft green SS and the intermediate white IZ optional compounds, MG Tires USA has your winning set of rubber in stock. Indoor and outdoor rental facilities can now trust MG Tires with their solution to long-lasting and the best performance with 3 different compounds available through the RL line. For more info about MG Tires USA and its extensive list of dealers near you, check out their website at mgtiresusa.com. MG Tires, for the drivers. History, success, family. Those are the 3 words that can describe Comet Kart Sales, one of the longest tenured karting businesses in the United States. The family-owned operation located just outside of Indianapolis has provided karts, parts, and services for thousands of racers in the near 6 decades of business. Their online store features everything you need, continually adding new parts to their product line. From full karting packages, new engines, spare or replacement parts, and safety gear, find it all at CometKartSales.com. Their Comet Racing Engine service has won multiple major events and championships over decades of karting and continues to offer the best trackside service in the industry, specializing in IAME X30, IAME Swift, and other 2-cycle power plants. Make sure to head to CometKartSales.com or call them at 317-462-3413 to be part of the Comet Kart Sales family today. Welcome back to episode 63 of our EKN OutLap, the opening part of our component of our trackside coverage. David Cole heading down to Trackhouse Motorplex in Mooresville, North Carolina this weekend to cap off the 2023 USPKS racing season. Let's have a look at X30 Junior, David. 18 drivers in the field, 3 times on the season. Ernesto Rivera has won. The other win going to Turner Brown. Rivera has already locked down the championship. He's made the move up to the senior category, starting at the U.S. Trophy Final for Rotax at Newcastle back in mid-September. He is your champion here, essentially done. Enzo Vidmontien second in points. Jackson Wolney, Stephen Miller, and Nathan Dupuis, the other drivers second back to fourth. Let's have a look at the kind of lineup that we're going to see in X30 Junior.
Yeah, it's sorry, I was reading over something, so that's all right. I didn't know where you were at. Yeah, so the top 5, they're essentially racing for position on the championship podium, as you said, with Rivera already clinching the championship. So, and again, here you're going to have a third different winner on the season. Right now, we don't have Brown on the entry list, so possibly not making the series finale in either X30 Junior or K100 Junior. But there's a number of different names that are on the X30 Pro Junior list. Diego Ardiles is back in the X30 category. He's been running the 100cc division. Alan Bonilla, Ty Fisher moving to X30 Junior as well, along with Mateo Pappas, son of Max Pappas, with Orsolon Racing, and Tony aboard a Tony Kart. And another one, Peyton Westcott. We've been talking about her in the 100cc category all season long. She's now moved up to the X30 Junior division. So a number of new names in the category. And then, of course, going to get another different winner on the season.
Yeah, Stephen Miller is obviously going to be in the fight, as he has been all year long, making a midseason move to Nash Motorsports. Nathan Dupuis back with Speed Concepts Racing, as will Sarah Bradley. She's had a couple of good runs. And David Jackson Wolney, who started the season with RPG, is going to remain with Speed Concepts Racing, it appears, this weekend.
Yeah, made the move at the U.S. Trophy Final, raced with them. Raced aboard a Red Speed this past weekend at the Cup Karts North America Grand Nationals. So sticking with Speed Concepts Racing, so we'll have to dive into that a little bit more and see what sparked the move.
All right, let's go to the KA 100 Junior class. 56 massive entries in this category. The class over 50 in all 5 races on the season. Rivera having locked this championship down as well. A couple of wins, 3 wins for Rivera. The other win going to Oliver Weldon. It's Austin Olds though that comes in the second spot in points, 553 behind Rivera. Diego Guillot, Stephen Miller, and Landon Skinner, the other 4 drivers in the top 5. Mentioned the fact that Wolney staying with Speed Concepts Racing, but there are a number of big guns still coming out to play in KA 100 Junior. Yeah,
Wolney being one of them. Excuse me. Wolney being one of them. I didn't mark up my Diego Ardiles. He's been quick in the 100cc category as well. And
same guys you mentioned before, right, David? It's Ty Fisher. It's Nathan Dupuis. Yeah. Here's a couple of cool ones. A couple of big wins, right, or good runs. Let's talk about Cade Yeager, who ran this past weekend, right, at the Cup Karts North America Grand Nationals with Precision Performance Karting on a Coyote. He'll be here. And then Chase Busaglia as well, who did so well at the Tillotson World Final.
Yeah, I believe a winner. We're still working on that. We're still working on that race report to kind of highlight the American drivers. I believe we had 3 victories there at the Tillotson World. What do they call it? The T4 Nations Cup. I believe is the official name of the event. But Yeager, I don't think he's run the 100cc category yet this season. So this could be this. Yeah, this will be a season debut for him in the division. Racing, as you said, with Brandon Jarzakrak Racing and aboard the LN Kart, and Mike Doty Racing as well too. So this category, the big numbers, a lot of different names, a lot of drivers who again are trying to add their name to a winning list. We had Rivera and Weldon; those are the only 2 names on the list on the season. Unlike what we've seen in X30 Pro and KA 100 Senior with 4 different drivers. So a lot's going to happen. This is again very much like the senior category. There's going to be a lot happening in this category. And then with the breakdown of the A, B, C, D heat races, we're going to see kind of some matchups with drivers going up against each other one time, or some that are racing each other every single heat race who could be battling in. So this will be a category to watch all weekend long.
You mentioned Diego Ardiles at X30 Junior with Rawls Performance Group. We'll throw out Keegan Kaminsky as well with Formula Works and GFC. Carter McMurray with Timmy Tech. Who else we got kind of going down the order here? Landon Skinner running with Speed Sports. Just throwing some of the names of guys we've seen kind of running up front. So this is going to be a heck of a battle, and Peyton Westcott's back in this one as well. This is where she's done most of her work, and we've seen her on the pole. We've seen her qualify top 10. This will be another opportunity for Westcott to potentially break through for the first big national victory.
And don't forget the locals.
That's
Don't
right.
Forget
throw some
one's,
locals out there.
I mean, there's tons of names that have Mooresville, North Carolina next to their name.
You're right.
Including Carter McMurray. Aiden Young is another name that pops up with Mooresville, North Carolina. Roberto Renderos racing with Orsolon Racing. So Forrest Adams racing with Mike Doty Racing. Local could be another driver. We always typically get that. We get at least one local winner at a USPKS event when we go to Trackhouse Motorplex.
Let's see how it plays out when we get there for the finale. 13 drivers rolling in for KA100 Master. Mike Rollison has been so impressive. 3 wins on the season. Laurento Mardan with the other victory. Nicky Coelho sitting second place in points. But a little bit of information. One driver we're not going to see is Mario Barrios. We figured he'd be there, but Mario, I think you got some information on Mario?
Yeah, Mario is actually testing in Europe for the IAME Warrior Final. That'll be happening very soon. So Barrios is elected not to compete this weekend in the USA and will be testing over in Europe. Looking at the championship, as you kind of talked about, Rollison pretty much has it in hand, but Laurento Mardan's still mathematically alive because he has only got 3 races under his belt. So he doesn't have a drop where Coelho and Mario Barrios, they have drops, so they're mathematically out.
There you go. Okay.
based on the numbers. So Rollison essentially has the championship locked up because it's 592 points to Mardan, who will be gaining points, but as we talk about, 650 is the maximum you can score plus entry totals. So mathematically still alive, but once Rollison collects some points, whether it be qualifying or the heat races, that'll essentially go away, but he's still got to keep his nose clean throughout the weekend.
5th place in points is Miguel Mir. He celebrated a birthday yesterday, so a birthday shout out to Miguel. Brett Harrelson coming back as well for Nash Motorsports. Scott Kopp, who's been a perennial USPKS front runner for Franklin Motorsports, will be there as well on a Gallard. Throw in Pistol Pete Vetter as well. And what about Max Pappas? Trackhouse always seems to draw Max back out for some racing, right?
Yeah, Mad Max is back behind the wheel. He was at the Ohio Grand Prix just kind of checking things out on Friday. He had some work commitments, had to leave, and so was there. He said he wasn't a karting dad. He said he was I forgot what he said, but it was a funny line. And but now he's getting back behind the wheel because obviously his son's racing in the junior category. So good to see that father-son bonding at the kart track. And
I always want to take a time to shout out my boy, Tom Gerstner from Magic Kart USA, the SCUSA Pro Tour KA Masters champion, 68 years young, or 67 or 68 years, I believe, for Tom Gerstner, still out there hammering down. An inspiration, I think, to so many of us who want to keep racing, man. David, you got a lot of years still if you're going to keep up with Tom.
Yeah, I got at least 20. So
right? a lot
maybe I'll get better by then.
You might, actually. At least you get some seat time sooner or later.
Yeah.
All right, folks, we're going to cap it off. One more break here. We'll get back. We'll do a preview of both Mini Swift and Micro Swift and wrap things up for this edition of the OutLap. Check out any major national karting event, and what's the common thread? Speed Concepts Racing. Up front, in every class, every weekend. The Speed family has been at the forefront of American karting for over 25 years, and Speed Concepts Racing is the sole dedication of Father Mike Speed and his multi-time championship-winning son Alex Speed. This program is all about passion for the sport and a dedication to winning. They know how to get it done. If you're a senior driver ready to put yourself amongst the best in the country, Speed Concepts Racing is the program for you. We can win the big races. You just need to be in the seat. The Speeds program has delivered time over time in the junior classes as well, helping to elevate a long list of young drivers from mid-pack to potential race winners. Speed Concepts Racing has the perfect equation of coaching, driver development, and technical knowledge to elevate your program. Arrive and drive opportunities are available for the remainder of the 2023 season, and we're locking in seats for 2024 as well. If you're ready to take your career to the next level, contact Speed Concepts Racing through email at speedconceptsracing@gmail.com.
Hey there, my name is Dion Bobmoltka, and I grew up karting and was fortunate enough to one day achieve my dream of becoming a professional race car driver. Looking back at my career, the most fun I had was in karting, but it was also one of the most challenging times in my career too. I often found myself craving expert guidance from someone who had been there before, that had done it and knew the right path forward, but it just wasn't available. And that's why I created Blaze Coaching. It's a platform designed to ensure every driver has the chance to learn from the best, from those who have faced the challenges and know what it takes to become a champion in our sport. Just imagine being coached by 2023 Indy 500 winner Joseph Newgarden, or Indy 500 front wheel qualifier Spencer Pigot, or how about Acura factory driver Ricky Taylor? They're all here as coaches on Blaze, ready to help you along your path. It's designed to meet you where you are, so no matter what your experience level is, where you race, or what your goals are, your Blaze coach is there to help. Are you ready to unlock your potential? Visit blaze.io/karting today. That's BLAYZE.io/karting.
Not unlike the 2023 season, this podcast almost wrapped up. We've got Mini Swift and Micro Swift still to go. Rob Howard alongside David Cole, episode 63 of the OutLap, previewing this coming weekend's USPKS finale at Trackhouse Motorplex. Mini Swift, we talked about Mini and Micro. 79 cadet drivers will be trackside for this event, which is just so good for the sport and for the series. 38 drivers in total coming in Mini Swift. Lucas Palacio really has been the dominant Mini driver throughout the entire season. He's got 3 wins on the season. Michael McGoy with 1 as well. McGoy still, though, mathematically in this, as is Travis Pettit in third, David. McGoy, second place, but plus 460. Travis Pettit, 532.
Well, that's not factoring in the drop, Mr. Rob Howden. So when you do kind of do that, it kind of essentially gives the championship to Palacio, as no one will be able to match his total while factoring in a drop. So provisional championship in the hands of Palacio. But again, got to keep everything clean if he's racing this weekend.
That's it.
Make sure to avoid any carnage or technical situations or anything like that. But McGoy, the only driver to beat Palacio yet on the year, and that was in one of those, it rained right before the main event, so it was a tire selection type scenario, and McGoy actually was able to power away when the track dried up and on dry tires, and was able to score a significant victory. So he'd like to, I think, earn it another and to kind of stamp his name in the cadet division. But Travis Pettit still looking for that first USPKS victory. He's got one in SCUSA competition now, but that he'll be a factor all weekend. Rocco Simoni, the Canadian, is 4th in points. I don't think he has a podium finish on the year, but he's kind of been consistent, kind of just right there on the verge of getting on the podium. And Royce Vega, I believe, is a rookie in the category as well. This first season in the mini category, does not have a podium as well. But again, consistency throughout the season is what been keeping a lot of these drivers towards the top of the championship chase.
David, give us some insight on Ashton Woon.
Yeah, broken arm, I believe, right after it was the Motorsports Country Club weekend. So it's been just over a month that he suffered the broken arm. Just had the hard cast taken off, so he's on the entry list. All I've seen is the cast coming off on social media, so not sure other than that. So we'll have to see if he is making laps here today at Trackhouse Motorplex or not, and we'll get more information when we get trackside.
Some names we've seen throughout the season doing well. Obviously, Marco Sammet, Marco Romero's been in there as well. Tristan Murphy, always a front runner. Cameron Marsha could be a driver we're talking about on the weekend. Antonio Pizzonianito, who started the season off with a SCUSA Winter Series Championship up there, so down in Florida, rather. So other drivers with an opportunity to take a shot at the big guns in this Mini Swift category. So many of these drivers, as we know, started things off on their national level journey in Micro Swift, and there's 41 drivers who are getting set to go here. David, Parker Ives, 3 wins on the season. Enzo Di Janeiro with 1, the only other driver to win other than Parker Ives. It's a 476-point lead on paper. Ives over Maxwell Macha.
Yeah, Di Janeiro able to stop the winning streak for Parker Ives in August at the Motorsports Country Club of Cincinnati. So he'll carry that momentum in this weekend. He's sitting 4th in the championship chase. So again, a lot available up for grabs on the podium for the championship. But Ives essentially has the provisional title wrapped up into his pocket, and again needs to keep a clean weekend to remain the champion come Sunday afternoon.
Hey Dave, I'm looking through the entry. I don't see Di Janeiro on the entry list.
Oh, I missed that.
I'm
you're right.
Down on that right now.
Yeah, you're right. So that's something we'll have to follow. Yeah, he I'm shocked because he's certainly performing well. Was among the top drivers at the U.S. Trophy Final as well too. So we'll have to kind of get in with that with Team Ferris Racing and see what's up with that.
Indeed.
So yeah, let me continue with that with Maxwell Macha. Yeah, he's been one of the top challengers all season long.
Yeah.
SKU's Pro Tour champion as well. Ashton Wyatt coming off a runner-up victory at the Cup Karts North America Grand Nationals in the cadet division. He sits third. Colton Schniegenberg, another driver who's been kind of consistently up front, but just hasn't been able to get that victory. He sits fifth, so watch for him as well too. But again, 41 drivers in this field. It's amazing to see that.
Yeah, and Liam Nakawati is one driver who's been kind of in the middle of the conversation all year long. Juan Diego Garcia Arce as well has been in there. But as we said, this is kind of the very start, right? And then, of course, we've seen Sody Kart look so good on the season. Josh Bergman, Zane Burgess, a number of these Sody Kart drivers, David, we've watched them be in the fight for race wins alongside Maxwell Macha, right? It's been a really kind of a cool place for Sody Kart, who we've seen, of course, run with Harley Keeble and, in the shifter kart categories as well. But they've really been strong coming out of the gate in the cadet classes here in 2023.
Yeah, they're building the foundation at the youth program to help keep these drivers in the brand for the years to come. So starting them in micro, again, there's probably eight drivers aboard the Sody, if not more, just in the micro division. So a solid 2023 campaign for Sody Racing USA.
Yeah, and just the one driver at the Cup Karts Grand Nationals in Newcastle last weekend, but he was in the fight the entire time, Christopher Wakefield.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, in the junior category.
Yeah. Well, folks, that wraps things up. We got a huge field for drivers here in this USPKS finale. David Cole will be rolling down there, as he told you earlier. Later on today, he'll be trackside on Friday morning to get things rolling. We'll have our live streaming audio on ekartingnews.com/live. You can follow the action all weekend long. Of course, it'll be on Kart Chaser, but if you don't have access to that, you can always listen to the audio, whether it's on the website or through our downloadable EKN Radio Network app. We'll be using the hashtags we normally do. Hashtag EKN at USPKS, hashtag Carolina Grand Prix, and hashtag Trackhouse. David, I know you're only able to get home for a couple of days after this. You got a pretty good run to the Super Dance to get some rest and get the work list done at the house. But back on track, as I said, you're behind the wheel this past weekend, back behind the laptop and the camera this coming weekend in Trackhouse.
Yeah, excited to wrap up the 2023 United States Pro Kart Series calendar with the Carolina Grand Prix. It's been a crazy year, expanding to 5 events. We've gone to a number of amazing facilities, and it's great to wrap it up at Trackhouse Motorplex, one of the headline and premier facilities in North America, and get to see 8 different drivers raising up the championship trophy at the end of the weekend. Yeah,
we may see some new winners in these categories as well, as David had mentioned throughout that preview. So indeed, things have gone well for USPKS here to start off to cap off 2023. Again, we're looking forward to seeing how that program shakes down in 2024 as well. The national series, the national schedule for this 2023 campaign, almost done and dusted. Just less than a handful of races still to go before we wrap things up for 2023 and turn that calendar page and start looking at the new season. As we know, a lot of schedules have already come out, but we're not done yet with 2023. David Cole will be trackside, as we said. Follow all of our action. A Paddock Insider will be rolling when he hits the ground at the track on Friday morning. Full coverage all weekend long for David Cole on ekartingnews.com. We thank you for tuning into the OutLap podcast. We'll, of course, be back after the coverage with the race reports throughout the weekend and then the full debrief race report podcast next week. On behalf of David Cole, folks, my name is Rob Howden. Bye for now.